Hadas Gold, live for sale on the English South Coast in Arundel. Thanks very much indeed. Let's speak now to Ben Bradley. He's a Conservative Member of Parliament who used to be part of Theresa May's government until he resigned to protest her Brexit plans. That was over the Chequers plan last year. Ben, thanks very much for being with us. So all eyes now on this Brady amendment, which the government is urging its own MPs to get behind. Essentially, it would mean alternatives to the backstop as it stands at the moment. Will you support it in the vote later?
I think so. Certainly after what she said in the Commons, it's something I've been considering overnight. I think we all need to get behind a proposal that seeks to change or remove the backstop. That seems to be the obvious thing, but there are a number of vagaries in the wording of the Brady Amendment that we were I personally was hoping that she would clarify in her speech today, and she has to an extent that there will be a vote on a deal when she comes back with it, so we will get a chance to check that it is acceptable, and particularly that she is going to take into consideration the proposals that have been put forward by Kit Malthouse and the Conservative kind of cross-party pairing.
Isn't it fair to say that the lack of clarity and the vagaries that are in this Brady Amendment is largely because the backstop, as we know, we've been talking about it for years now, it is so complex in itself, and it ultimately, if she goes back to the EU saying I want to renegotiate this, they've already made it very, very clear that the agreement on the table is finalised. And so in voting for it later, would you are you concerned that the EU are just going to say, well, it doesn't matter? Well,
I think the important point is laid out in those proposals that have been discussed over the last week or so across Conservative benches on Remain and Brexit sides, kind of seems to be known as the Malthouse Compromise today, where it does lay out Plan B, Plan C in the event that they don't go for that.
Plan C.
Well, no. So this is the Malthouse proposal lays out a Plan A, which is to go back and get changes to that backstop. It lays out effectively what's been put forward by the ERG as potential alternative arrangements. But in the event that the European won't do that, and there is every chance that they will, truthfully, whatever they're saying currently, because they don't want to not be able to trade effectively with the UK. But in the event that that doesn't pass, there is also within it Plan B, I suppose, which is that we continue to offer Plan A, and we continue to say we want that comprehensive deal, but that actually we can have an implementation period to help us transition to world trade terms and manage that more effectively.
How concerned are you about colleagues of yours in the Conservative Party and indeed opposition benches as well, who may now vote in favour of the Cooper Amendment, which would essentially delay Article 50 and push Brexit back possibly up to 9 months or so, and take power away from the Prime Minister and from the government in negotiating Brexit going forward?
Well, I think it's very clear the divide that's opening up between the parties today, and seeing the Labour Party whipping their MPs to vote for delay and frustration to the process, and more, a long-term debate and discussion and argument that doesn't solve anything. On Conservative benches, we argue about what it should look like, but we're all trying to leave for the most part. So that is something that's increasingly visible within Parliament. But I do think the Prime Minister's been pretty clear. We need to leave on the 29th of March, and I don't think my constituency voted 71% leave. I don't think my constituents would accept anything less than that. There are now options available to make that happen.
Yeah, and yet you still seem undecided exactly as how you will vote later on this evening. The debate's going on right now. How much of what is said today is going to influence how you decide?
I think today a lot. Often that's not the case.
What about on WhatsApp as well? Because I hear there's all these WhatsApp groups. Are you a member of these WhatsApp groups?
Too many WhatsApp groups as an MP. There are hundreds of WhatsApp groups. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of discussion and conversation trying to clarify, and she's helped, I think, in her speech today, precisely what she means by alternatives and different options for the backstop, precisely what the process will be afterwards, because I think most of us on all sides of the argument want to give her the opportunity to go back and get a better deal, but we do need those reassurances as to what that will look like. For me, she's done as good a job as you could expect, I think, in laying that out. Unless something dramatic happens, will probably support the Brady Amendment later on that basis.
OK, Ben Bradley, thanks very much indeed. I can hear your phone buzzing away, WhatsApp messages telling you how to vote later on. We appreciate your time today.